Okay, welcome everybody to the live healing experience. I'm your host, Sue Dumais. It is 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Thursday, but here, no, which clock I have? It's 9 o'clock on Friday. So I'm working in many different time zones, but that's not what's challenging me. I'm actually working in many different timelines right now. So I've talked about the eternal spiral now. And as a time weaver and an energy translator, I can zoom into an experience that someone had in the timeline that had happened in their perception of past, because we humans think of linear, time as linear, past, present, future. So I can zoom into wherever on the timeline to their experience, listen and feel into that experience and give them a translation, help them understand what happened and why that happened, or understand what the energies were doing at that time. So I used timelines like that. I've used them like that for a long time. And that's really familiar to me. That's really simple to me to do and comfortable. But I shared a little bit in the Living Oneness gathering, the kind of break in my consciousness. I had a different break in the consciousness at the level of the mind. And all of a sudden I was seeing all the timelines all at once. See, I even have to be aware of what I'm saying because it's hard to articulate. So sometimes I'll have one or two timelines, and that's when I'm tuning in and helping people clear an experience of a different timeline, or sometimes two timelines are interlinking or zapping each other out and interfering. So I'll work with one or two timelines and be in this one. Right now, and if I tune into it, I have to stay here. I have to stay very present. Because if I tune into it, I'm dilute. My consciousness is diluted between about 5 or 6 timelines right now. And so when I go into meditation, I'm literally I go into them really deeply. But when I'm talking to somebody in this timeline, like all of you here, I have to really stay here and be present and kind of pull some of it back just to be here. So when I sent out the email, I had too many time zones and too many timelines, and I'm just like, I don't know, 2 p.m. Pacific. I'm just going to land there. Just comment 2 p.m. Pacific. But if you're ever in doubt when the live experience is, the count, that's why I added the countdown timer, because there's people all over the world that are trying to figure out what is it in their time zone. The countdown timer will give that to you. It'll tell you, oh, we're starting in 2 hours. So if in doubt, go to the countdown timer. Most times that's correct. So I'm going to simplify now for moving forward and just put Pacific time. So I'm going to trust all of you to figure out what it is in your time zone. And when I'm here in Australia, I'll figure out what it is in my time zone, but I have to simplify things. I got the message that I keep getting the message to simplify. That's been a message I've been getting for probably about 4 or 5 years now. And I've really been working on doing that. But for me, my life is simply complex. My world is simply complex. So simplicity in it is a very interesting concept. So I've recognized that there's certain things on the level of form that I can simplify even more. So I'm going to start doing that. I have a new platform coming in April. I'm really excited about, which will bring everything into one area, the social media, my healer's toolbox, everything will be in one space, one login. So there's a lot of simplicity coming in. And I want to invite you as we go through the experience today to ask yourself, what are some things that I can simplify? How can I simplify my schedule? How can I simplify my mind? How can I simplify my experience of you, the world around you? You simplify your relationships. There is something in that for not just for me, it's really strong for me, but I feel like for everyone, because the world is so complex and confusing and chaotic. So there needs to be a simple practice, a simple coming home to your breath, a simple moment of just breathing and being here now, a simple prayer, whatever it is that you need. Be open to that coming in today, that clarity coming in for you. The other message I was getting was before I arrived here in Australia, before I came, I heard less is more and more is everything. Less is more and more is everything. So that I was feeling to share that with you as well, because I feel like there's some depth in that for each of you to explore. What does that mean for you? I know what it means for me. I've been sitting with it. But what does that mean for you? And if it doesn't resonate, let it be water off a duck's back. You don't need to judge it. Just let it go. It's not for you. That's okay. But for some of you, you needed to hear this. What we're going to do today isn't a unique journey, something I haven't shared a lot with. Even me talking about being a time weaver and what I do, I haven't talked about that a lot. Here and there, I'll talk about it in certain circles, but it's a very unique ability, and it's very mind-boggling for myself. So to be able to articulate it and talk about it is not always easy. But I want to take you through a few things today. So what that means is that your mind is going to be challenged in a different way. And your mind might push back a little bit and resist, or get hooked on little question marks and question, like, what does that mean? And how is that possible? I want you to let go of trying to find an understanding and just trust that if you need an understanding, it will be provided. And it may not be provided in that moment. So you might have to sit in the question mark for a moment, or sit in the energy of like, I don't even know what that means. And I'm okay with that. It's okay. I don't know, and it's okay. If you're willing to try that on, then you'll have a more you'll have a bigger opportunity for the mind to stretch beyond a limit that it has in place to experience something that you need to experience, to have a little break in that layer of consciousness that's resisting. Okay. Does that sound fair? Sound like a plan? We'll have a plan, but we don't know where we're going to go. So we never really know. We don't know what the future holds. We only know what this moment holds. And in this moment, we're here together having this experience and trusting that whatever you need and I need will come in and be provided. And the level of understanding that's needed will be given at the level of the heart, and just enough at the level of the mind so the mind comes along. And at any point, if you feel resistance, just let that resistance be. I see you. I honor you. It's okay. I'm holding steady here. I'm going to continue to be open and curious and full of wonderment about what I'm meant to receive today and what I'm meant to experience. What experience is for my highest good? That is what I want today. And that is my invitation for you. What is the experience that you need for your highest good? That is why I'm here, to be of service. And if you're willing to receive whatever gifts come through that intention, just say, yes, thank you. Open your heart, and we'll let it all pour in. All right. Beautiful. Taking a few deep breaths. You're going to begin by using your breath as the anchor that brings you into the present moment. So if you let all of your awareness come in, zoom into your breath. So I kind of gather it all in, because some of your awarenesses are way out there by, your schedule, maybe over there by some work, maybe on someone else's, a relationship you have, someone else's experience. I want you to call back as much of your consciousness and awareness as you possibly can, and just bring it here now into this space with me on this experience, and tune into your breath. Notice your breath as it expands through the lungs, maybe through the diaphragm and into the belly. And notice on your exhale how everything softly, gently comes back in. So we're not trying to change or shift the breath. Just notice your breath just as it is. Breathing in, breathing out, observing without judgment, without the need to change anything. Less is more, and more is everything. Your breath in this moment is everything. Be with your breath. Appreciate your breath, no matter what it's doing. Honor your breath, no matter how it feels. Thank the breath for its rhythm, for its flow, for the oxygen and energy exchange. And if your mind wanders, just gently bring it back. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. And we have the physical breath that's happening with the lungs, with the rib cage, with the diaphragm, and the trachea going all the way up into the nose and out. Or if you're breathing in and out or out through the mouth. Just noticing the path of the physical breath. And then there's an energetic path of the breath as well. It may follow that same path as the physical breath, but just notice that energetic breath for a moment. As you breathe in and breathe out, notice the energy within and around the breath. Within and around your heart center, within and around your ribs, your lungs, your diaphragm, your belly, your throat, your nose, your mouth. Feel the rhythm, the ebb and flow of your breath. As your ribs expand, gently come back in. Effortless, consistent, reliable breath. If at any time as I'm guiding you through this live experience today, if you feel that your breath goes shallow or stops, if you hold your breath, just tune into the space and identify if there's any fear or resistance. Honor that fear and resistance. Stir it into your heart like a big bowl of love and compassion. Honor and witness and process that fear, and then allow it to be processed to send down or up through the central channel. If it has something to teach you, something you need to know, let it be brought to your heart to be understood. And let the understanding at the level of the mind be provided if and only if it's needed. Setting a new grounding cord from the tailbone, from the feet. Feel the roots from the feet and the cord from the tailbone down into the earth. And that cord from the tailbone is the main cord, and then you have a second coil wrapping around. So an electrical cord and a magnetic coil. So it becomes an electromagnetic grounding cord, clearing any electrical scattered energy related to your thoughts and beliefs, clearing any magnetic scattered energy related to your emotions or energy that hasn't been processed. And we can clear the clutter of anything that just has nothing to teach you. It just needs a pathway. So saying yes, thank you to release any and everything that has nothing to teach you. It's just clutter in the field, clutter in the mind, just allowing it to be processed in whatever way it needs to and sent in whatever path is the path of least resistance for that energy. The energy has an innate intelligence. It knows what to do and how to clear, but our minds, our beliefs, our thoughts can hold it. Our trauma can be held in the body or held in different pockets. So your intention to allow it to go and honor it as it clears will allow it to be processed in a way that's efficient and supportive and purposeful. Taking some deep breaths. Letting the breath fall out of the mouth with a bit of an ah sound, a little bit of a sigh. Just reminding the body that it's okay to let go, that you're willing and ready to let go. And taking a moment now, we're going to tune into this timeline that you are experiencing as your life. The experience of your timeline that has a perception of the past, the experience of the present, and an idea of the future. Be here in the present moment, but recognize that you're on this timeline in this present moment, right here, right now. And be open and willing to reflect on your life as it appears to you at this time. We have these new timelines coming available to us. And there's actually at least one or two that's running parallel to everyone. Now, they don't run parallel linear, they're spiral and they twist and turn. But for the sake of the mind, I don't want to make it too complicated. So I'm going to simplify it by just imagining 2 or 3 highways running parallel to each other. And each of those highways are kind of going in a similar direction, but every once in a while, one of the highways may go off and come back on, or you may get a little detour or a different experience, or you may make a different choice, which changes your perception of the timeline. It changes your experience of the timeline. It can also change your experience of the memories of that timeline from a past perception. Remember, your mind is just coming along enough, just enough to come along without resistance. If resistance shows up, thank it for coming, place it aside, and hold steady with your breath. Now imagine you could shift over to the right side of your brain, the right side of your mind. In this side of the brain, you have the capacity to be more present. You have the capacity to be more creative and open and curious and full of wonderment, fascination. amusement, that those are the energies and emotions over there in the right side of the brain. The left side is the analytical, logical, trying to figure things out. The left brain is really good at making up stories about why you feel how you feel. So we're going to shift out of the left brain for now, not abandoning it, not judging it, just we don't need it right now. We're going to shift into the right brain, because in the right brain, there's an experience that we can have that will be different than what the left brain would allow. So we are leaning into the right and then down into the heart space. So we are activating the right side of the brain to allow the experience to be processed at the level of the mind there, and then down into the heart space to be wide open to receive the experience that we're meant to have, with or without the level of understanding at the mind. We can bring a level of understanding into the heart, which will join with our knowing. That's a divine knowing. That's a knowing goes beyond logic and reason. It's an intuitive knowing. It's a divine wisdom. Breathe into that knowing in the heart. We're talking about the heart center here, not the physical heart. So really right in the center of the chest, opening up that heart center to create space for an experience. Now, in this moment, because of everything that's really going on in the world globally, we are being asked to have go through a living life review. And normally, we've had this before, but normally when we transition from the physical back to our spiritual selves, our non-physical beingness, we go through what some would call a living life review, or a life review. We go through a life review and transition. This is where we look back on our lives and we take all of the gems and gifts and lessons and then release the rest and move forward toward our next evolution, or our next incarnation. In a living life review, we are not in transition. We are in this timeline, experiencing life as it is, unfolding moment by moment. And we have these memories stored in our mind, our subconscious mind, and in our etheric blueprint, our etheric body. Now, the ethereal body holds a lot of experiences and memories from this timeline, but also other timelines. What some could perceive, if we wish to look at time as linear, some could perceive it as a past experience, a past life. Those are all stored in the etheric body. And when we tap into the etheric body, we're also tapping into more of the collective storage, or the collective records. And some may call that the Akashic records. So in the etheric body, in your etheric body, we're working individually and collectively, but individually, I want you to stay present to your body and your etheric body, which is right around the physical. And it holds a blueprint of what has happened to you in this timeline, as well as other experiences, which we can call past timelines. And all of these experiences in your etheric body are held and archived and stored in different ways. Some are more to the forefront, so they come in as memories. If someone says, oh, remember that time, you have an ability to recall that memory. Others are stored deeper in the archives, and we don't have a conscious memory in the conscious mind. But the subconscious mind might be holding it and actually operating based on that fear, that trauma, that wound, or that belief. So sometimes we have this desire in our heart, or this desire in our mind to do something, to move towards something, but a belief in the subconscious mind might be contradicting what we desire, what we want. So the belief in the subconscious mind will override what we want. but we're not aware of that belief because it's deeply buried in the archives of the subconscious mind. And then we have the archives of our etheric body, the etheric field. Those archives are many of our experiences here in this timeline, but also many of our experiences from other timelines. Just take a couple breaths, recognizing that I'm working with your energy field and I'm connecting right direct to your spirit, giving the message you need to hear in the way you need to hear it. Take what resonates, accept what triggers you or causes resistance. Just make peace with it. Let it be there. Don't push it away. Don't judge it. Let it be there. And then anything that doesn't land or is not pertinent to you, just let it wash off. It'll naturally just wash off like water off a duck's back. It may come in later as a seed. Just trust, trust. Deep trust. And then keeping in mind that no matter what I'm doing, at any point you could say, yes, thank you. But at the same time, I give you full permission at any point to say, no, thank you. If I'm doing something, you're like, no, thank you. I'm not ready for that. Or no, thank you. That doesn't feel resonant for me. Or no, thank you. I'm too resistant and I don't have the capacity for that. You're totally okay to do that. You have full permission. You get to choose. Just make that choice as conscious as possible. Take some more deep breaths. Beautiful. Thank you. Some of the resistance washed away. So now we're going to invite, if you're willing, the opportunity to deeply archive some memories that are not serving you to hold on to in the level of the conscious or subconscious mind. In meaning, they're not serving you in this lifetime, in this timeline. They won't serve you moving forward in every moment that follows from this one forward. They just have nothing left to teach you or provide to you. Understanding that there's no value there. It's just clutter in your field, clutter in the mind. So if you're willing, we are going to call forth the archiving, deep storage of those memories, thoughts, beliefs, and experiences that have nothing to teach you, no gifts to offer. Lessons have already been learned and understood, and it is just clutter. So if you're willing to release all that clutter and deeply archive it into your etheric field, say yes, thank you. And then just allow. Don't try and figure it out. Don't try and do anything. This is an allowing, a surrender to allow. Beautiful. You may feel energy moving, you may not. You may have experiences of tension lifting, you may not. You might feel lighter in the mind, you may not. There's no right or wrong way to move through this experience, and whatever you need, just trust that that's what it will be. And if you come back to this live experience and go through it again, you may have a different experience or a different layer or different depth that occurs, or you may not. And it's okay. Be open to anything, be attached to nothing. Let go, let it be. Anything in the physical body you're holding that is ready to be deeply archived, just say yes, thank you. There's a lot of congestion and holding in the back of the body, in the pelvis, sacrum, lower back, middle back, upper back, and shoulders, neck, some at the back of the head, some are holding in the throat. And then the solar plexus is very congested. There is some guarding around the heart. So just a witnessing and a willing to release the guarding around your heart. This is a safe space. And each of your fields are held sacred and unique to you. So other people's stuff cannot get into your field, not on in my watch. So just know and trust that your field is held sacred and that this is an experience that you're having, but an experience that we're sharing. And the only connection we have to each other in this circle, in this space, is in our layer of oneness, which is out at the 40th layer of our energy field. Beautiful. Thank you. More leaving, more around the tailbone wanting to go. Now, here's the challenging part for some, as you may want to hold on when you're meant to let go. There are experiences, memories, and energy that you're holding on some levels that need to be deleted. And if you're willing, we can invite and intend and command those energies to be deleted from your field in the way that they leave and are transmuted and used by Mother Earth or by Source or creation in another way. So these energies are not serving you. They're more of like a burden in the field, and the memories are actually not helping you let go and free your mind. Your mind is trying to evolve. We're shifting out of the limited human mind to more of a divine mind, a mind that will allow us to have more expanded experiences, more connections to the fourth and fifth dimension. Even though we're connected, many people aren't really utilizing or activating the capacity of that connection because the mind is holding them in the 3D version of this timeline. So if you're willing to free your mind and delete and trust that those things that will be deleted are purposeful to delete, say yes, thank you. Allow that to integrate on every level. And every level of consciousness that you have available to you, as well as every dimension that you have access to, whether you realize it or not, in every realm and every timeline that you are connected or experiencing on whatever level. Yes, thank you. Again, remembering there's a lot going on behind the scenes, behind the understanding at the level of the mind, in the energy field, in the etheric field, and beyond. It's about freeing your mind, freeing your body, and freeing your energy field. It is a form of decluttering, but it's a purification as well. Purifying, cleansing, clearing. Deep breaths. Every once in a while, you're going to find you're going to need a deep cleansing breath. Feel free to take them anytime. Don't wait for me to remind you. But every once in a while, if I feel the breath is necessary for the group, I will encourage it. Beautiful. Notice how you feel now. Notice your breath, notice your body, notice your mind, notice your energy field. Just notice what is, all of it. Some of you may feel lighter, brighter. You may feel like something shifted on a level you can't quite articulate or can't quite wrap your mind around. Or you may be very clear of things that have cleared, very aware of areas that feel different. Again, there's no right or wrong. It just is. Just notice what is. Take some deep breaths. Moment to thank your energy and thank your body for coming along. Thank your mind for coming along. Now I'm going to do a etheric blueprint upgrade. So if you imagine a building that has been renovated about 10 times, and you go to find the blueprints and it still has the original blueprints. So where there was a door, there's now a wall. Where there was some windows, there's no more windows. Where there wasn't a room, there's suddenly a room. So when things get renovated or changed or shifted on a more cosmic level and a global level and then an etheric level in your body, sometimes the etheric blueprint doesn't quite get updated. So because we've done such a beautiful job at archiving what we don't need and deleting all the files and cleaning up the computers, the computer hard drive in our mind, in our body, in our energy field, it's essential to run an update. So if you're open and willing and you feel it, that it's necessary for you to say yes, thank you, and we're going to run that etheric blueprint upgrade now. I'm feeling some of you need to move a little bit. So some of you are actually, the body is trying to like shift and move. So just give yourself permission. It's not a restlessness. I feel like your body is trying to shift you. You might find you spiral a little bit or you stretch sideways a little bit. Just give yourself permission to move if you need to. You might find you just move your head or your neck, or you might find you're still, and that's okay too. Just feel that nudge from within and allow your body to move you, allow that energy to guide you in the movement if it's even necessary for you. Thank you. There we go. You're bringing your awareness back to your heart space, allowing everything to integrate from that center source point out. So finding that beautiful still point, going into the center of your heart center, into the center of that energy center there, and really leaning into, folding into the center of that still point. That is your source point. Folding everything in and in and in. Keep folding in until suddenly you hit a point where everything starts to expand and fold out or radiate out. That's another cleansing technique, in then out. And I'm going to add a firewall into your field from the bottom. It's a white dragon flame. It's going to burn off through the layers of your energy field and through the physical body as well. If you're willing, say yes, thank you. And this is a cleansing, purifying energy. So anything that's out of balance, it could be balanced just with its touch. Anything that's in your field that doesn't belong, it gets burned off and cleared and released outside the outer layer of your field. Anything that needs to be processed can be processed and cleared up and out or down and out. I'm going to do one thing here at the third eye, placing your palm at the front on the forehead, placing your hand opposite the back. So you've got the palm at the back, palm at the front, and you're holding the space of the third eye and the pineal gland right in the center. In around the pineal gland, there's an area, a source point. It's usually within and around the pineal gland. It may even be within the pineal gland for some of you, but it's in and around that space. There we go, center source point there. Some might call this the cave of Brahma. Now we're going to invite a balance between the front and back of that energy center. And then we're going to see a circle. So you've got this source point as a pinpoint, and then a circle around 360 degrees. And within that circle, there's a triangle touching the edges of the circle, the perimeter of the circle. And we're going to create a gyroscopic movement for that energy center. If you're willing to say yes, thank you. It may feel a little bit dizzying for some of you, but this is the new movement of your energy centers. This is what's needed now. For the center of the heart space, gyroscoping too. We're just going to do those first two because it can be a little overwhelming to get everything going. Here we go. Beautiful. Again, that energy is moving in so many different directions, but it's very organized and very beautifully orchestrated. And it moves energy that's not in alignment. It shoots it out, or it harmonizes it right within that beautiful gyroscoping movement of the energy field. So then your energy center becomes this purifying, aligning, balancing point. There we go. Beautiful. Take some more deep breaths. Now you may stay in that energy. You may feel like you just need to stay folded inside with that awareness. My invitation is for you to start to be aware of the energy field around your physical body and out to the perimeter of your energy field. And I will be recording something for the Healer's Toolbox where each of the energy centers will be the gyroscopes, walking you through the sacred geometry to get you there, and then the whole energy field as well. So the invitation for those of you that are ready and feeling it right in the center, if you imagine a big circle around you, about an arm's length in all directions, that's your energy field. And right in the center of that circle, in and around the solar plexus, maybe a little lower, depends on where you feel that center point is for you. We are going to set the energy field to gyroscopic movement. If that feels like too much, or your field is like, no, thank you, that's okay. If you're ready, just say yes, thank you. And it might feel a little bit stagnant at the back. So sometimes it might feel like it goes really fast at the front and then gets a little stuck at the back. So just recognize that it's a movement and momentum that builds. There we go. Breathe through it. Yes, all beneath you, above, behind, in front, beside, all directions, 360 degrees, about an arm's length, all the way around you, moving all the way from the center out. Yes, thank you. Now, it may feel like you're suddenly floating, so make sure you've got that grounding cord, and that grounding cord stays solid, solid but malleable. So it's not like a structure that can't be moved through. So your gyroscope moves through that structure, but it's there, it's solid, it's happening, it's present, it's consistent, it's energetically solid but fluid. There we go. Beautiful. That's it. There we go. Some more deep breaths. And slowly bring your awareness into the experience of your physical body again. Keep your expanded consciousness. You may be able to hold on to that. You may lose it a little bit. That's okay. Don't worry. Just see how much of it you can hold on to, and not hold on to gripping, but just maintain. Some of it you'll be able to maintain. Some of it will feel like it trickles away. It's okay. It's not gone. It's just shifted. And then bringing your awareness to your physical body, physical surroundings. And taking your time. You may stay there longer. Take as much time as you need. Some of you may feel ready to see if you can open your eyes and maintain that connection. And if you feel dizzy or woozy, close your eyes again or do whatever you need to do. Put your feet on the floor. Maybe place your hands under your lap or under your legs just to ground. Taking some breaths. And if you're tuning in, just notice how you feel now. Notice how you feel now compared to the beginning. Notice how you feel now, partway through. And if you feel inspired to share anything, feel free. You can share in the comments. I'm just seeing Don's comment. Wow, thank you. I saw a pair of hawks flying at the end. And with the work we just did, I could sense this beautiful love, probably projected, but still nice between them. Not projected. Yeah, I could feel the love too. There's confirmation for you that that was love from your heart, their hearts connected to each other, but also connected to you. There was no separation there. Beautiful. There was a hawk this morning that came at the Dragon Cliff. Every day I see a different bird. And then when I was coming down, it actually flew right in front of me as I was doing my thing. I do these things with my hands and different symbols and speak words. And then I opened my eyes and it was right there flying, just in the wind, kind of hanging out right in front of me. And then as I came down the Dragon Cliff, came back to the beach, I was tuning into the dragon energy again. And then I opened my eyes and this big pelican flew right over my head. And I almost feel like I could touch it. I probably had to be about 2 feet higher, but it was very close. It was very beautiful connection. And what the birds are really communicating to me is like, it's time for all of us to fly or like spread our wings and fly. And the message I kept hearing for me personally, probably for all of us as well, was that we've got you. Like nature is like, we're with you. We got you. It's like nature's showing up. The birds are showing up. I just feel the air, the the sun, like everything is showing up, the ocean, all the elements are showing up. And I feel like they're all standing around and beside me and with me as I'm doing this global cosmic work. And it feels very nurturing. So for you, for all of you, just being open to being in communion with nature right now, whether that's an animal or a flower or a tree or grass, whatever it is, just really feeling that connection to nature because it's really actually stepping up and appreciating with gratitude the work we're doing and the love we're holding. So you are all having an impact, even if you think, what am I doing here in my home? Choosing love. I'm like, oh, it's happening. It's having an impact. So don't underestimate that choice for love for you. It's having an impact, and I appreciate it. Autumn says, thank you, Sue, for your beautiful, magical, and transformative gifts. You are so welcome. Thank you for yours. Thank you for being here and for sharing your gifts as well. So beautiful, Dawn. I have chills. Yes, you're welcome. Sarah, I feel peace in my body. Wonderful. You're welcome. Marian, wow, a new form of energy feeling. It kind of started on the right side, it went to the left, and finally integrated it all. Feels very powerful. Beautiful. Adrian, exactly this amazing, exactly the symbol I drew in my journal yesterday. Beautiful. Encore impression today. Terry, I sensed a very strong, beautiful energy surrounding me, especially during this surrendering. Wonderful. Thank you. Hawks for the win. Okay. Fallon, thank you so much. You're welcome. Huge shifts. Beautiful. Emma, feel woozy, energy floating in front of my third eye. Beautiful. Make sure you're grounded, and you might every once in a while just anchor what's happening there by placing one hand in front, one hand in the back. It can help anchor the changes. Kim, wowzers, what a shift. Feeling that with nature as well. Beautiful. Thank you, Kim. Took a minute to come back into my body. Yeah, I hear you. Sarah, that was really powerful. So many yeses, so many thank yous. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to read everybody. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing. I love this. I will read them all afterwards. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's move into a few intuitive readings. I'm going to invite you to post, just say yes, thank you in the comment box. It's easier for me than tracking hands and things like that. And then I'll just tune in for whether I'm reading someone individually. Remember that if I'm reading someone individually, it's for everyone. What's for one is for all, one way or another, directly or indirectly. So be open to receiving in one way or another. All right. So Andrea, let me tune in. As soon as I tune in, I can feel this like I wanted to take this big breath through the front of my heart center, but I was like, I went to take a breath and I was like, oh, hold on. So there's some fear of breathing, some fear of expanding through your heart, some fear of allowing your heart center to expand and your wings to spread out. So there's this invitation, even for you to physically do it right now, is just feel that opening in the front of your chest, and whatever you can do today to create an opening, and maybe some stretches, maybe some yoga, heart opening yoga space stretches. But that's what I'm feeling for you. I definitely feel like it's the heart opening to the front. Most people have a harder time opening the back, but I feel like for you, it's the front needs to open and then the back can spread and expand out to the side. So it's your wings and the releasing the vulnerability of the heart and not feeling afraid. And when you have your field in this gyroscoping movement, what I've found is that it's really much easier for me. I've been doing the gyroscoping for probably a couple of years now, more so in this last year, really clearly guided to keep my energy centers doing that instead of the old weird funnel type vortexes, which was purposeful and working, but it just wasn't working for me anymore. So this came in and I found that it actually really keeps my field clear and amplified quite effectively. So that's something that you can try, all of you. Sarah, let me tune in. Right away drawn to right jaw, lower jaw bone, in this area by the ear and down to the chin. And then at the same time, the right hip. So I feel right jaw, right hip. Mm. Like I want to open my mouth, but words can't come out. But I feel like the words can't come out here because the hip is actually holding some fear and trauma there. So I would, even though I'm drawn here, there's something blocked here, go to the hip first. So right hip into that hip joint. I can feel some generational stuff. So, like parents, their parents. So, there's some inherited fears and wounding. So, you could offer that back from that place of loyalty, releasing back those torches of loyalty and choosing to shift into honoring their experiences, but not carrying their experiences forward. That's not your legacy. Our legacy, your legacy, our legacy is different than what our parents is, even more so than ever before. And that's part of the timeline clearing. So you may even listen to this again and set the intention to release any inherited or generational stuff. So this live experience can be used again for different focused areas in your field as well. And tomorrow and the next day and next week, you might have different things that are collected in your field or that have come up and are ready now to be archived or deleted. So go to the right hip, Sarah. I just keep hearing that. That's your key. I'm gonna shift down. Cheryl, this is for you, but for all too. So I feel like there's a connection. Some of the ones that I just kind of came down over, I feel like this is for those of you that were just above Cheryl too, saying yes, thank you. There's an energy in the center of the solar plexus. It's there's this yes energy in the heart. And even at the level of the mind, I feel like a lot of you are like, yes, I'm ready. Yes, I want it. Yes, like show me I'm ready. Like, oh my God, I can't be more ready. And then the heart is just like opening and like curious and wondering and being like this, like expanded, like space of yes. And then there's this like contraction and fist and the solar plexus is like, no, it's like, don't make me. But then there's another part of you like, yes, I'm open to anything. Let's do this. And then this part is like, no, but you have no idea what you're like what you're getting yourself into. You have no idea what's around the corner. You have no idea. There's so much change. There's so much. And I'm like, yeah, there is. So meet that part of you. That's just your ego, the last stronghold of the ego. It's okay. It's going to keep holding. Make peace with it. Love it. Compassion. Send roses to it. Bless it. And recognize it. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay that you're afraid, but I'm not afraid anymore. I'm choosing love. I'm choosing not to be afraid. So change is choice and choice is change. So right now you choose to change. And that's what's happening. Change is going to happen either way. But when you make that conscious choice to change from fear to love, then you can unravel and loosen that grip and meet the ego. The ego is an accumulation of all lifetimes of fear that you've held, not just this timeline, all lifetimes. So that would be a good pocket to go into. Listen back to this again for some of you that feel drawn to it or feel that little no in that space, that fist, that holding, that gripping, and really meet the ego in that space because the ego only knows fear. It's the teacher of fear. It's that overprotective helicopter parent that will stop at nothing to keep us safe and playing small, but it doesn't realize that there is another way of being in the world that doesn't need protection, that is safe, innately safe. It doesn't need to be kept safe. It just is safe. You are safe. You are innocent. You are loved. That is who you are. Everything else is just an illusion that's keeping you in this container, limited perspective and limited vision, this container of what we perceive as safety, like a cocoon. Like, I don't want to get out of the cocoon, but you're a butterfly. It's time to get out. But you're like, no, I'm not ready. I'm like, oh, you're so ready. Like, your wings are ready. Everything's ready. You're completely transformed. On some level, you're transformed and you're ready. But there's this little part of you that's like still wanting to be the caterpillar. But you're not a caterpillar anymore. The ego's still wanting to be fear, but you're not fear. That's not who you are. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. And then I had some butterflies on my walk too, these little butterflies that came out. So I feel that for many of you, that was a message for many of you as well. I'm aware of the time in this perception of time. In this 3D realm, it's 3 o'clock Pacific time. So I'm aware of the time. So thank you all for being here. And come back to this, listen to it again. You'll get different pieces, or you'll be able to practice and get that gyroscoping movement and things going. Once you get that going, you're like, it's juicy. You're not going to want to stop it. And you're going to let it increase in speed and momentum. Don't try and force it. Don't try and make it go faster than it's ready to. Just let it grow and organically start to speed up for you. And those of you that are in the community, I will be offering some different stuff in the community. I'm really excited. If you're not in the community, the free online social media community, it's under my own umbrella. It's not on any other outward platform. It's my own platform that I created. And there's a new software coming in where I'll be able to blend it and integrate it together. So we'll be able to have some really powerful experiences there, and it'll be beautiful. There's already an active community there, so I invite you to come, and I'll have the link in the replay when I send out the replay email. And also you can go to the website and find it under offerings, free online community, if you want to join. I'm so grateful for all of you. I thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I see you. I honor you. And I see your wings. I feel your wings. They're so ready to fly. You're so ready, more than ready. And some of you are already doing it. So keep doing it. And together we are creating these massive waves of impact. And no matter what it looks like in the world, it's actually going in the direction we need it to go. And as I'm getting access, as I have access to these different timelines, I'm seeing what's possible for humanity, not just for me. I'm seeing what's possible for all of us and for all of creation. And it's actually really exciting. So, good news. Hold steady. Keep going. You've got this. We can do this together. Thank you all. Love and blessings. Next time. We'll see you soon.